And we are live. Welcome back, everyone, to Isyour6covered. Got the famous John Kreiderman.
World renowned.
World renowned. All right, well, welcome, everybody. Let's start off and see what we got here. Kerry Emery in first place. TB, what's going on? Second place. Luca's out there in third. Rich Freeman in fourth. 3 crowns. Mark Hedrick. Todd Bailey. We're going to talk about Todd Bailey here in a short minute. Let me go through and say hi to everybody real quick. Big countries out there.
I met Big Country, haven't I?
No, I haven't met him.
Okay.
No, actually, Ray's met him once. John Rollins is out there. Papa's Place, Mr. Les, Mano 018. Waddy's out there. TB, Doug B. Chris Estes is out there. Robert Warren, the Snake Man 48. Matt Cross. I like that name, Matt Cross. Sounds like a movie actor. I like that. So the lighting is still bright, but better than yesterday. I had heard your guys' comments.
You're glowing.
Peasaw was out there. Brian T. Skull. Who else? Anybody else out there? Where's Joaquin? Oh, there's Joaquin. Joaquin Jack Nava. Missed him. Going Ballistic. Tyler Orth. Jagaki's out there. Provada Racing. Grinding Dust. All right,
I did get my notification tonight.
Look at that. Thing actually worked. Born to be a shooter. Josh is out there. Welcome. Thomas Rowland and the famous man from Iceland, Mr. Otter himself. And the famous, not so famous, really famous, who knows what the heck kind of famous is.
X-Ray.
X-Ring is out there. And your pal, Matt. That's right. That is Matt P, if you guys are not familiar.
What's up, Matt?
We got the Kreiderman and Buddy D.
I'll refrain from giving you advice this time.
Who's that? What happened?
Matt, well, I watched the chat after the conversation we had the last time. And I'm saying that Matt needs to stop. Matt needs to do what Matt does, not listen to me.
Matt's got it down. Simon Klein, which iced tea are you drinking today? Well, let's wipe off the logo here and see if you guys can figure this out. Because by looking, oh, there it is right there.
I know what it is without seeing it. Taco Hell.
Taco Hell. Whew. But that's all I got. The lady goes, "You just want 2 iced teas?" I'm on.
You got 2 gallons?
I went to Bilo's, which is just down the street there, and they're closing up shop. There will be no Bilo's there. So
what do you got for shopping center here?
I don't even know. I always go there. I don't even really do much grocery shopping because I usually eat out. Yeah, unfortunately, now that I'm kind of a bachelor,
a rebel
without a cause. Let's see. Taco Bell diabetes beginner package. I got some good stuff going on tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We got the Board of Wisdom out here with questions for all of you guys.
That actually shows up well today.
It's because that stupid circle light's not on. So we can ask these questions. And the reason why I think Matt actually brought up this topic, and Matt P, yeah, your pal Matt or my pal Matt, yeah, your pal Matt, and he said it seems like a lot of times he's 1 or 2, 3 hits away from actually podiuming them, getting on the podium, and he's like you should maybe talk about what are the things that the guys on the podium, what are they doing that we're not doing, and it's not so much. We won't be able to answer that because we're not the ones on the podium, right? But the question is what are we doing to make ourselves better? What are we doing to
take that next step?
To take the next step, yeah. And the first question is, what will it take to get to the next level? And then for some of you guys that aren't shooting, but again, thinking about shooting, and I really want to, man, I swear something bit me after after I mowed the grass today.
Cute little blondes.
I wish. Or if you're not shooting the matches, but you keep thinking about it, what up, Crazy Scotsman? What is it going to take for you to get to your first match? Is it because you have no gear? Is it because you're you're uncomfortable with going and meeting people you don't know. Like what was some of the reasons you never went to a match before?
I'll be frank with you. With Ray had mentioned it, and it's something I've always wanted to do. I'm a big hunter. This year is the first year I haven't hunted since I was about 9 years old.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is.
Your wife was actually tripping out, huh?
Yeah. Well, my wife considers herself a hunter's widow. Hunting season comes along, turkey, deer, bye. She just doesn't see me. I think she's all right with it, to be honest with you.
I mean, can you blame
with
her?
that said, Ray had,
Are you calling me Ray?
No,
Oh,
Ray had.
We'll see if we'll get him.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
He had told me that he had a buddy that was selling a gun, and it was something I've always been interested in, just being a marksman, right? Or at least learning. I've seen it on TV. I want to be that guy. I'm very competitive. I like learning new things. I'm not one of those guys that I'll keep working at something until I master it. That's just the way I'm wired. And it was something I will, by God, I will at some point be competitive with these guys. It may take a while and with a lot of their tutelage, but like I said, I'm learning from the best, and I'm fortunate there. I truly am. Appreciate it. Yeah. So he had mentioned, the next thing you know, I'm all in. I did spend so much time shooting that I actually stepped away from hunting this year. I didn't have time to lease land. I let my lease go. We had come to find out it was a bear sanctuary. There wasn't beautiful deer land, not a deer to be seen. Not 1,000 acres I'm leasing. I went to Kentucky or Kansas several years in a row. Plan on going back. There's some beautiful deer there. I'm rambling.
You are rambling.
I am rambling. What was the question?
Exactly. All right. So we got a lot of good comments out there. I got a whole bunch of questions. Now, and these questions, like I said maybe earlier, these are things that you need to ask yourself. If you're doing any type of shooting, it doesn't have to be a precision long range, but these questions you should really answer for yourself. But I want to, it's Chase says, for me, it's definitely having someone to shoot with, kind of awkward to rock to an event alone, but I've kind of overcome that. Yeah, it's Chase. The thing is you're going to meet a bunch of great friends. You're going to become good friends with people that actually enjoy the things that you're doing. I can tell you from being over 40 years old and moving to all the way across the United States and trying to meet people at that age, like if you were to like move in middle school, you're going to meet people at school and stuff like that. So you don't really meet people. I was lucky enough to find the right gun shop and meet up with Ray and Matt and, became good friends ever since. But you just got to go to the match and meet people you may not know and be uncomfortable with the first match. But 99% of the time, those people are super cool. And
I have met a lot of people at the shooting. And again, I'm new at this. A lot of people give me advice. I will take advice from anybody. I found myself giving advice the last, and I shot horrible. And I found myself giving advice to a gentleman who was brand new, first competition.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have a lot to give him.
Right. I do, because 3 months ago I was there and I'm thinking, Rick would tell me, hey, John, bring your right knee up, square off to the rifle, these little things. So I just passed that along. I was watching, and we had another friend of ours that we were shooting with. I don't think he's on yet. He had made some mistakes and I had pointed it out, not to be a big deal, not to pretend like I'm the all-knowing, because I certainly am not, but it's in the moment, right? So here it is right there. It was easy for me to point it out. I kind of felt a little awkward because I was shooting so poorly. He damn near outshot me, and it was his first match.
Oh, I know you're talking about. Yeah. All right. So before we get started with these questions, I think tonight's topics are going to be, I think they're going to be pretty decent. But so Todd Bailey's out there, and I want to give a huge shout out to a man that is willing to spend his time, his energy, and probably some of his money to help teach. And basically, he's the teacher or the shooting instructor for a team. Mm-hmm. And he's the match that we're going to be going to at Kettlefoot. He's actually bringing his students or kids there to shoot. This is going to be their first PRS match.
Very nice.
And the ages are 8 to 14. And what's cool is he gives them homework on Thursday. So I don't know exactly how the homework works. He did show me some of his, some of his boards that his kids learn from, and it was kind of neat to see. But we are X-Ring and myself. We're going to go out there.
Is he actually doing classroom instructionals? Like
no,
showing dope how
I don't know exactly what he's doing, but he actually invited us to shoot that match. Nice. But then we also he also wanted us to speak to the kids. But Ella's going to be there, so I think he has three. Nice. I think he has more female shooters than he does male shooters, and
that actually doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, and I want to give a huge thanks to you, Todd, for not spending your time. You could be sitting at home eating bonbons or screwing off on YouTube, and you're putting that time and energy into our Second Amendment, our next ones, right? The next ones that are going to love the sports. So big shout out and
bravo.
Applause for that. So yeah, we're going to get to meet the kids. Some of them I'm hoping I asked them if you would move them over to the squad rim. And so we'll be shooting with them. So it'll be kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right.
So it'll be kind of fun. So
now on that, may I make a comment? I am also trying, like Ray is doing with his daughter. I'm trying to get my nephew into shooting. I actually think I just acquired a scope for the gun that he doesn't own yet. He'll probably start on my Ruger. It's a great gun to start with. Issues for me getting out to 300 plus yards with that. And I saw a question earlier in reference to how my 22 is shooting. I think it was he saw. Yeah, he saw. John
right there.
Is already in the 500 yard 22 ring club. Yeah.
You actually did that in 10 shots.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the 400 you shot on the second shot, I think.
Yeah, I did. I was shocked. So I got my new Voodoo, and so again, I'm not going to make an excuse. This is an explanation. I've been beating myself over the head wondering. I went there with high expectations at VOD. I really did. I thought I was going to do very well because my long game was now there. Not so. I had spent so much time hitting small as I could at 500 yards, 400 yards. I had not shot my Voodoo to speak of at 100 yards and in, except for to zero. And by the way, it wasn't zeroed. I was a full mil low come match time. My whole day went to Hades in a basket. It was, and then frustration set in. I was the first one to shoot. I allowed it. I got in my own head and I ruined it for myself. Should have just stepped back, taken a breath. That'll come with experience.
Okay, so I had the first stage where I had to rush because I was late, right? I shot 4 out of.
That was your only pour, and I say pour. I shot 4 again.
I shot 4.
Yeah, I shot 4. This guy shoot circles around me.
I appreciate that. Well, before we get into this, so somebody had commented about it. How do you get through a bad stage? What are the things you
just move on? Just move on. I had, for myself, again, inexperience, and that'll come with time. So a big game changer for me was the bad MF, right?
Yeah.
But I had everything organized. Because this match, I did do the prep, but I was prepping with my Kestrel. I was reading the manual, the dreaded manual. And trust me, when I say that Kestrel manual is awful, good luck. I felt just silly reading that thing. So I sat there and I played with all that instead of focusing on getting all my stuff together. Again, this will come with experience. the one we're going to, the Clinton House this week, trust me, I will be prepared to be the first shooter on stage 1, period. I wasn't. Normally we stay in a hotel room. We sit down, we got all of our, I'll lay out my dope charts. I'll cheat off of them. I'll get their dope just to confirm mine. I actually kind of, in my head, I'm all prepared for this one because it was such a close match. I think there were several things that experience will allow me to not do again. Again, I went in there very confident. I'm thinking, I got a voodoo. I'm going to take first place now, right? Kidding.
That's an inside joke.
That's an inside joke.
You can buy your winner first place.
Yeah, exactly. That's certainly not the case. I've got a lot to learn on my scope. To be frank with you, I've been so busy at work. I haven't, since the debacle, I have not shot. And it upsets me because we're supposed to have some severe rain tomorrow. Get your bubble gum out. I bought you a pack.
I might need it. I got that hydroconcrete.
You think it'll
stuff.
work?
We're going to find
Well,
out.
there you go.
All right, so here's the next question. We talked about what will it take to get to the next level. And the next level is anything. It could be, like we said, you never shot. It could be you trying to figure out what your next level is. John uses the whole percentage thing, the points value kind of stuff wise. So say he's shooting 43% on his first match of the targets, and he's trying to get 44 and 45 and 46 and whatever else, all the way to 100, right? To get to 100.
Sure.
So that's one way to figure out.
I'm competing against myself. So I want all my buddies to shoot well. I want them to be first, second, third, and as long as I'm in the middle of the pack or even, not last, I'm all right with that. I don't want to be down at the lower end. Nobody wants to be. I haven't got the time behind the gun and I'm not experienced enough. That's just the way it's going to be. Leave the pride to home, go meet some great people, like-minded people, and have a good time. I mean, I've met more people at the range and the competitions that, I mean, everybody's helping everybody out. And everybody's happy to see others do well. That to me is awesome. I haven't got to knock somebody down, step on them to make myself taller.
Yeah.
And you just don't see that at these competitions. Everybody's rooting for everybody. It's great. Do it if you haven't done it yet.
All right. So are you willing to put in the effort to get to the next level? So that's the question. Now you figured out where you are and where you want to get to as far as the next level. Could be 50%.
That's it.
60%.
We've had this conversation.
And then the question should be, are you willing to put in the effort? Now, I know you are because we've been working hard and shooting a lot. And that's the thing, like I can't remember who had said it, but ammo availability, right? So, yeah, right now it's tough to find everything between center fire ammo, your 9mm, 223, 5.56 stuff, and then, hell, pretty much everything.
Yeah.
The
everything
in 22 long rifle is right in the ballpark with that, but so that's the next question to think about when you guys are watching the video. And then, is your gear holding you back, or is it just an excuse?
A little bit of both. Well, it was my gear was. I'm constantly, now I pick my spots again. Knowing when to walk up to Rick and Ray when they're not sending their data for the next stage. I don't feel as awkward. I never know. I never knew. I realize now that they're immediately setting their stage, loading their mags, and getting prepared. After they're done with that, I walk up and say, hey, may I use your bag? Now, it's an expensive sport. The Ruger, I was blessed to have Ray hook me up with that. And I really think for myself, I think that it was holding me back on the I had the ability to hit 500 yards. I just didn't have the equipment to do it. And we were hitting competitions where in my head, I was never competitive, but I was competitive with my peers, right? I was competitive against myself. So I'm wanting to do better. And when I have these big stages, there were the previous VOD stage we had some out at 480, I think 492, way out there. And I wasn't going to shoot that particular stage. And I'm thinking, no, shoot the stage. I don't want to be that guy. It's going to go out there and, well, I'm not going to hit it anyways. I tried. I had a 0 on that stage.
But you tried.
And it was immediately thereafter that I bought the Voodoo, right? I believe it was the decision
next
was made
month
then.
later or something.
Yep. Because really I shot fairly well on that.
You
Fairly.
did.
For myself, I shot well.
You shot within the 150-ish. You're right on the money.
Yep.
Sometimes you time out because you were at that point.
Yep.
So, yeah, I would say that some of that was gear holding you back a little bit.
And that's not an excuse. That's a fact.
Yeah, I would say so.
I'm chock full of excuses. Trust me. Give me a minute.
And of course, I put and is it an excuse? We talked about it a little bit, and I would say, I think on any given day,
Silver Fox is in the house.
Silver Fox in the house.
Hey, what's up, Silver
anybody,
Fox?
A really good shooter with a production rifle is going to probably go out and spank us.
Me,
So,
yes.
It makes it. It all comes back down to what? Practice, being used to this stuff, understanding the wind. All those little things. I think that we all need to work on learning.
Yeah, I find the wind. I mean, other than the Kentucky match we did, oh, good God Almighty! I had dialed a 0.5 mil and I was holding a 0.5 mil.
You were dialing, you had
1.5
mil dialed, and you were holding.
Well, at 50 yards.
Oh,
we're talking 50 yards, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the 200 yards. Yeah, we had kind of the wind to the back there, little from the left to the back, so it wasn't as profound as the short on the left side of the in Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky was tough.
Yeah, it was a tough match. I was disappointed in one of my. I thought I was going to go up there and hit your limits target, and I was watch this. I'm going to show these guys how this is done. I had a moment after I didn't clear that. I had to put myself in check. I was so disappointed in myself. I wanted to take my toy and go home. I was that upset, and I said, okay, I will never do that again. I didn't show as much as I wanted to, and how angry I was at myself.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sitting out there. You're aiming at the target to the left to hit the target on the right. You can't fault yourself for that. That's just conditions. And I had never shot in anything like that. So
see, and now you have.
Now I have.
What's up, Charles Tiffy? Welcome. Wind hitting, it means more than anything, is the hardest thing to call. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so here's some more questions for you guys out there as well. Where do you see yourself in 2 months, 6 months, and 12 months? So where do you see yourself in 2 months?
In
2 months.
In 2 months, I've given this a lot of thought. Actually.
Hold on, you know what we haven't done today?
Well, I'll get him one. Watch out.
Where's my buddy Ray at? I need my Asian buddy karate chop. I had to throw one of those in there for you.
Thank you.
All right, so in 2 months, where do you see yourself? Maybe just have gone in more matches.
I'm hoping to. I've set a goal for myself, so it may be lofty. I want to hit in 2 to 3 months. I want to be hitting 60% of my targets, and that's a lofty.
How many?
60%.
Oh, 60% in 2 months.
That's realistic.
That makes
I think,
but
so it's lofty.
Now you have it recorded on YouTube.
Yeah, I know.
So you know when the date is.
Right.
So in 2 months, we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah. And you know what's going to make that answer happen?
The practice.
Exactly. Practice.
Getting behind the gun and
so what do you want to see in 6 months? You got to be careful there because
6 months. Let's
answers.
go to the 12 month because I'll be happy sitting right around 60%. What I want to be in a year is be competitive with you, Ray, and Matt. That's it.
That's doable.
Competitive. I'm not saying beat them. Beating somebody doesn't mean a thing to me. I'm competitive, but I'm competitive to better myself, not to compete against my buddies. Right? At the same time, it's nice to rib them. Trust me, the day I beat this guy, everybody's going to know it, and he will be happy for me. Well, because
Well,
he's
you
trained
got to
me.
remember like I always used to go, I just want to get 50 percentile or better.
Yes.
So like those were always goals of mine.
Yep. And
it wasn't like
have,
it wasn't like I want to hit 50% of the targets or 60% of the targets. Because it's, the match could really suck, and maybe even the top shooter only hit 50% of the targets.
Unlikely, but
yeah. But like, so like those are my steps.
Yeah, I had to find out. So you remember originally I was like, oh, I did well. Well, it was a tough tournament, and come to find out, I shot like 47 percentile. Well, no, that wasn't I actually went back and did the math because every match I keep score of what I did on each. Do you do that, by the way? Do you keep score? Do you just remember it? Because I know you review your matches.
No, there's this thing called practice score that keeps all that shit for you.
I didn't know that. See, you'll learn about me. I'm not a computer guy.
So you can, for you guys out there that don't know, you can go back to your old matches.
I didn't know that.
And you can click on it, and it'll show you where you scored and how well you did.
Okay.
And then even something better that we talked about this earlier, was I was trying to talk him into actually signing up for the PRS Rimfire series because it gives you an idea of your points, especially for people like us that are shooting a lot, going to a lot of matches per se. It's nice to you can watch yourself get better. You're in the standings thing.
I didn't know that was there. So that's why I keep a record. Because again, I'm competing against, I want to better myself every time. Who doesn't? I mean, everybody out there who does, you're doing something, you want to be the best you can be at it. And that's the way I'm wired anyways.
That's cool, Drew Bradley.
I'm ignoring all these in this kind
certified. He's trying to get certified for the 750 and 800 yard. I'm not exactly sure how that works for him.
6 months.
Work on the positions that you have the most difficulty with. Learn to get into uncomfortable positions and practice 50 in these positions 50 times each range session.
May I comment on that? So
you don't have to ask me to comment.
Right. So
you talk so much, you just yap all you want.
He invited me over so he could take a vacation.
That's right. I'll just drink sweet tea and ask you questions. This works out well. What's up, Mr. Bill Sweeney? Bill Sweeney is also someone that shoots a lot with us.
Joaquin.
We're past that stage. No,
working positions. Most difficult. I went through several matches where, you can bring you lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink. He kept telling me, John, square up. And I finally got it. In a competition, I'm in my own little world, right? I hear bits and pieces of, I'm so focused on, this is still new to me. So I'm not a multitasker. I got him we're at the range and we're just practicing one day. And he's like, John, try this. And he physically walked over and grabbed me and said, turn your hips straight on the gun. It made a big difference. Did you notice I did that during this? Even though
I actually did the video about it.
Yeah.
And then I think, like you had said that you watched it a few times. It was like, oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah. See, that's something that I want to do. So I was going to make a comment earlier. And what I'm actually thinking about, it would drive me nuts going to a competition, not shooting, going and just being able to sit and watch the positioning, watch what they're doing, watch where they're placing a gun. For instance, a bipod on a barrel. So I had it was just, you had to acquire 2 targets. It was on a barrel. It wasn't even the yardage. It wasn't all that long either. And I had positioned myself. I had no excuse because I had the equipment. I borrowed Rick's bipod, or Ray's bipod, not Rick's. And instead of, I had the Arca Swiss rail, and I got a Picatinny on the front. Mine's still unscrew tight. I'm still buying equipment, so I can slide it back. And then what do? I go up there and I set my gun so that I can't load my arm, and I'm doing this on the backside. I don't know if you noticed, you and I were shooting pretty close to each other.
Yeah.
And I had another shooter come up and say, look, you should have done this. And I was so glad he did that. And actually it was Coker.
Yeah.
He says, John, he said, this is what you should have done. And again, I'm always, I leave my ego. Look, I know I'm learning, and always leave your ego. If you want to learn something, leave your ego to home. He come up and he said, John, if you'd have just done this, and I'm like, oh, ping, and a light came on. We had it. Go ahead.
Six Rudders has a great question for you out there.
Who is it?
Six Rudders. We're actually going to shoot with him with Clinton House.
The biggest difference. Kestrel.
Are we in the same squad?
Rifle. The Kestrel, I'm still figuring out. To be honest with you, the scope. I have a Vortex. I'm not sure what size it is. I have a
Vortex HD.
I've
4
got it
after
right
27.
Here. Let me kill this, by the way, before it kills us. I would say the rifle made the most difference. I could have had a cheap. I shouldn't say that because I can't say that. I haven't. I bought good equipment, so I've never been behind cheap glass. I don't think. I don't. Again.
Yeah, because you went from a Burris. It was the 2.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that, to be honest with you.
I've never been a fan of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad, but I don't know.
The problem I have with my Vortex is it is extremely busy. And when I say busy,
you're
giving me half. The Vortex is.
I know what you have. I'm wondering if you.
I don't.
Trimmer 3.
Trimmer 3.
So there's a lot going on in
Took
there.
a picture of it today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So that I could remember. I've had people ask me in comments during the chats, what my equipment. I'll be honest with you, man. I've got these guys. It's like, look, I don't want to be ridiculous, but I want good equipment.
Yeah.
I don't want my equipment. I don't need any more excuses. I want decent equipment. And I'm fortunate to have the lot. These gentlemen know how to spend money as well as I do. So he doesn't mind spending money.
Just give me your credit card, John.
Yeah, here you go. He's got my card on number.
We'll buy the best.
Numbers.
We'll buy the best stuff possible. So you can't. Well, remember.
So it's very hard for me to answer that question. I mean,
we talked about that too. When you purchased the Voodoo, and you purchased a few items, right?
Mm-hmm.
we made the funny comment. You have no excuse but yourself.
That's it.
And that's good.
That exactly.
One of the things
I hate excuse makers.
One of the things that people do, I think, because I've seen it in different fields of all sorts, fire service and everything else, is if you cannot trust your gear, you cannot. You're always in the back of your head questioning your stuff, right?
What was the statement?
It's like, man, does my scope? Is it my scope? Yeah. Is it this? Is it that?
Most of the time, it's the fact that I haven't got enough time behind it and learn it.
Correct. Yeah. And that's with me and anybody else shooting. So we kind of went through where do you see yourself in 2, 6, and 12 months? In
a year, I do hope to be competitive with.
I hope so.
I mean,
in maybe 6 months.
Competitive. Just that's all I ask.
That's why I would say. That's why I would say.
I want you to sweat me.
I want you to say. I think the better answer you should say is, I want to be top 50 or top 30 or something like. Give yourself that.
Yeah.
Because anywhere you go, like when we go to these matches, like I'll say Kettlefoot, I don't know who shoots over there. There may be a ton of like sponsored this and sponsored that.
We've run into that.
And hell, if I get top 50, but I just shot against 14 pros,
the competition matters.
So it's tough to say. Well, I want to place top 10 or. I mean, that's something you should always strive for, or top 5 if you really want to get crazy, but you don't know who you're ever going to be shooting against.
That's it. And actually, that's one of the things I like about this sport. You show up in another state and you get to meet people in other states, different. So I'm an upstate New Yorker. Farm town.
All y'alls. No, that's
you're never gonna hear that. It's use guys.
Use guys, yeah. What if there's girls?
Chicks.
Don't
get me in trouble. Don't get me in trouble on YouTube. Shut down.
Trust me. If anybody knows how to get shut down on YouTube, it's me. All right. So this is more for you guys out there. We know the answer to this for him. How are you guys learning to shoot? YouTube? Are you going to like classes? Are you just going to matches and you're progressing and getting better, learning stuff, or are you self-taught?
I'm certainly not self-taught.
What did you do prior? Well, you never really shot competitions. You weren't a competitive shooter at all. You were
the
a
first
hunter.
one I did. You were at. Every match I've been to so far.
Have I been?
Rick has been to every.
Didn't you shoot one when I was still at work? I think I
did. Maybe one.
That was your first match, I think.
Might have been.
Yeah.
Might have been. But Ray was, again, Ray's a natural teacher. He really is. And you are as well. I mean, no, you really are. So I'm not a great student. So, he literally walked over one day. He's like, John, square your hips up. And it made a difference. And this was not during a competition. This was at the range. And I noticed it immediately that it made a big, we were shooting off of, I remember the moment because it was a game changer for me, as was the card, the data holder. By the way, thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome.
Jeff Cobb, appreciate you for showing up. There's some really good comments here. I'll get back to them, but
yeah, sorry everybody out there.
I didn't see Jeff Cobb's question. Somebody
There
said,
it
what would be some standards that a newbie would need to be able to do before shooting a competition? I think it's just some of the standards. I think learning what time is the worst part. Like going from, I was not a big 3-gun shooter, or
never done it,
but it was like everything is about speed. So you want to complete the stage as fast as you can, and then now shooting PRS style, you get an allotted amount of time. It doesn't matter if you shoot the entire stage in 10 seconds or if you do it 1 second before the end of the stage. It counts completely the same. So the middle part for, I think Matt was the same way as well, and maybe even Ray, is trying to figure out a rhythm where you'll be done right before the end. Matt's a little more on the speed side still.
He's so
good.
He
is really good shooter. But like trying to figure out in your head where you're at. Like I still always ask, like, how much time do I have left? Because why not ask? They have it right there. You got 32 seconds left. There was one time I sat there. I said, how much time do we have left? He said, 15 seconds. I had one target. Yeah. And I was sitting prone. I just sat there for a second. I was still on the. I was still on the rifle.
Did you notice that? I'm sitting there watching, and you seemed rushed, and I'm like, and I yelled out your time, and it was like,
yeah.
Time and distance are two things that newbies, myself included, struggle with. So we had the bowling pins. I didn't know on the right side or left side there was probably 25 yards difference between the two, right? But
they weren't in the same order,
right? They weren't.
Yeah.
So it was here, and you had to go front to back to front, right? And it confused. I'm setting, and I look. So which one? They're not supposed to tell you. And somebody yelled out the left target. Okay, so I acquired the left target. I could not. And again, I think that would maybe even come with time as well. Or here's the thing that I did learn on that stage: know your target. And I listened to Ray say this the other day in your chat after I spoke to you. I went back and
watched. You can close your eyes
1 in the morning. Yeah, envision it. So this is something I'm going to try, and just envision this. And then for me to obtain what my dope is per
nice,
and remember that that's tough for me. That's not going to happen. So I'm going to always refer to what used to be my hand, now my data chart or my data.
See, and I actually write. We're talking about these. If you guys,
that's a great idea.
I write mine completely backwards than other people. So at the bottom of my card, in my mind, is the thing closest to me.
See, I do it the exact opposite.
Yeah, and you do it the way most people shoot it. I want to be able to look up and in my mind, I'm thinking,
are you a lefty?
You have to.
I know you're not.
You have to go from, like, when you wash a car, you should wash it from what? The top
to
down?
The bottom. Yeah.
So this is completely different when I'm shooting, and it says from near to far.
I think you're one of the few people I know that do that.
Yeah, I am.
I noticed you did that,
Yeah, because yours was backwards.
Yeah, well, first time I noticed it, he's like, "Oh, you walked over. It was from farthest to nearest instead of nearest to farthest." So I had taken the information. I wrote it on my card. Actually, I had it on my hand, and I was like, "Oh God!" And I'm licking it and getting alcohol, trying to wipe it off my hand. And he's like, "You had it right." And I'm like, "No." For him, I had it right. For me, oh no.
So that's something to think about too.
How about no?
I go the wrong way, if you want to call it that. I would probably assume I'm of the least majority of the
Whatever
way people
works
ride
for
it.
you.
Actually, even what's his daughter's name?
Coker.
Gabby.
Gabby.
Yeah, Gabby's.
She's a good shot.
She goes. Oh, you do it the opposite.
Yeah.
So it's.
I think that's where I had heard her say that, and I was like, "Well, no, that's the way he does it."
I do it backwards. X-Ring does it the opposite. I'm weird like that.
I think probably 90% of the people do it the way 95%.
Yeah,
I've not seen anybody do it the way you do it, but it's the way you learned.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can learn on any scope, any gun, as long as it doesn't limit me.
Because on a sniper data logbook, it has the distances, so it shows the shooter where the shooter would be, and then there's these rings, and then you basically write your targets in it, and then that ring represents
like a radius,
distance,
if you will. Oh.
Yeah. So the way I write it is, I think, from messing around and playing with those books.
I got you. See, that's something I think I need to do is actually take it. So if I have time, I keep my stuff organized, unlike I was this weekend.
Were you organized this weekend?
No.
Yard sale?
I was a yard sale.
I was kind of a yard sale this weekend too.
Well, yeah, but you showed up late and immediately had to go and acquire. You were first up. I felt for him. He hit 4. I hit 4. He hit 4. Very unlike him. For that stage, neither one of us should have hit 4.
Finding and shooting correct targets is my biggest. Finding and shooting, yeah, especially on blind stages. That I cannot find target.
And then knowing the distance.
Ray has X-ray vision.
He is incredible.
So he'll just be all, "Oh, there's one right there. There's one right there."
And that's about 168.
Hell, there was one time
like,
we're sitting on the porch right here.
Right.
Right here. Right? This porch. We're standing there. He's all, "Hey, do you see that thing right there?" And I'm all, "What are you looking at? What are you talking about?" And he's describing this thing to me. This is a big rig. And I'm like, I don't see it. I thought it was a billboard. And I'm looking for a big rig.
Right.
I'm like, this thing's in the way, but like I don't see a big rig anywhere. So yeah, I don't know what the hell's wrong.
He's something else. That guy.
I got confused several times on a stage on which target was which, but as usual, I was using too much magnification and practicing now running a max of 12. Yeah, I was.
That was a game changer for me.
Was it? Yeah, I hardly had much.
Ray beat that enemy. John, you're too magnified.
You can't find the target if you do that.
What's he know? Yeah. What's he know?
I think
everything.
I think it was you. I was thinking that there was a thing that took forever. There was somebody in our stage. Oh, I know who it was. I was on glass.
In our squad?
In our squad.
It was me.
It was you and one other person. I won't name names.
Yeah, he's falling asleep behind the scope because he's waiting for me to acquire and hit the first target.
So I'm waiting for the target because you want to make sure you see the impact. But I like pulled my head off because it was taking so long.
Right.
It's like,
did I miss something?
The hardest part's like get on the target and get that first round off.
And I'll be frank with you, that's something that I need to work on. And that is so what I've started doing, I wished I had brought it with me. I've got it in my bag.
What is it?
I'm making notes, things to work on.
You're making notes?
Yes, I know that sounds silly.
That's good. That's how you get better.
And I just started doing this, So I pick my game apart and I come up with what we call an excuse list, right? For me, it's not really an excuse list. It's something I need to work on, right? Why did I do poorly? Well, I can give you 1,000 reasons why I did poorly. You can call them an excuse. I call them something to work on, right? So for me, it's not all about the excuse. It's about knowing what to work on. So when I'm talking to somebody, hey, where do you think you went wrong? Well, this is, I'm not blaming my equipment because I can't blame my equipment. That's out. I've got the best equipment there is out there. And I've got the best teachers there are out there. I just got to learn how to properly. My biggest problem is acquiring the first target. I think that is my biggest problem.
It's usually okay. So I'm going to try to answer this question, and I can't think of the name of the damn targets. Conservative Sniper says, tell Larry Palmer what brand of targets. Larry Palmer.
Motion detected in the front yard.
Honestly, I can't tell you right now. It's I did a video on it. If you go back, you'll see like a short live chat of when I open up the targets. And yeah, you can let him in. Only if it's a good guy, though. If not, just shoot him.
It's always a good guy.
Hopefully.
There he is.
No, shooting target. What? Shooting target 7 is the shooting target 7 is the
you go ahead. Nope.
the know your limits. They actually make great targets as well, but if you're looking for the targets that they use for NRL style shooting matches with the sizes and all that. Welcome to the show, X-Ray.
I'm just a little guy. I want to be a real boy.
I want to be a real boy.
I can't get that out.
So just, I think it's Jay. Damn it, I can't remember. Send me an email and I'll forward you the video. But that's the target that has the what?
Charles Stiffy. The same thing we were just talking about. The magnification. How many times have you beat me up over that?
A couple.
And like I said, you can lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink. And once I made a boo-boo, I got up there. I'm like, oh, there's the target.
Oh, okay. So what do you think the highest magnification Maniac shot the entire match? The highest?
9.
She went to 12 one time. Other than that,
Really?
it was on 10. Sure enough.
I shot at, I tried to stay right around 9-10 now.
He's in James Bond.
That's it. Who said that? Matt Cross.
Matt Cross. What? Oh, it is JC Steele. Thanks, Manuel.
Yeah, JC Steele.
Yeah, Manuel Lopez. Thanks for the win on that one. That's definitely what it was. Is there a specific ballistic app that you all use,
The ringer is
or
in
just
the house.
the Kestrel? Also, what is everyone using for dope books? On the 22 rimfire stuff, we're not using a dope book. On 6.5 Creedmoor and 6 Creedmoor, yeah, we're keeping a log of. Well, I'm keeping a log of how much ammo I've shot. And actually, I've slacked off, not only because I haven't been shooting much centerfire, but I actually purchased 500 Starline brass. And when I'm done shooting it, it goes into another bucket. So I know exactly how many rounds I shot. But,
Well, you see, that's what I did. And then my wife threw a bunch of them away.
yeah.
She's
Well,
like,
you shot 800 rounds in the first week you had the thing.
I did.
Sure,
Tiger
she
new
threw
barrel.
them away.
Yeah, don't
I'm
you even
not-
go there.
I'm not even going there. I'm going to leave that one alone.
Yeah, she's my scapegoat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Now I know what you're
Yeah,
talking
now
about.
okay, so
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay, so is there the one that you just asked about the specific ballistic app? Okay, so I know that everyone has heard of Streetlock Pro. If you're going to get one, look at Streetlock Pro. Maybe look at that Hornady, that 4DOF or 4DOF, whatever they want to call it. Applied Ballistics, while it is great, the app is not the most user friendly. It's not the most intuitive.
Let's link.
And even though I use the Kestrel primarily, now the app is about useless unless you're using it to upload a profile.
Period.
But I will tell you this, guys, if you
Yeah.
don't know how to figure out movers and things like that, my understanding is Liberty Precision, there might be a mover. I know there's plenty of moving targets over at Griffin Group.
That would be fun.
But this is the thing.
I can't get a standstill target, but I like.
Even with the Kestrel,
Yeah.
I think it'll
I'm
be.
going to help you guys out here. So even with the Kestrel and the mover, it's easier just to go to Streetlock, put in the target distance, size, and
You gotta know
approximate
the
speed
speed.
that it's moving. Well, that you can figure out based on if you can see it
Distance
track
over time.
beforehand.
Right.
Correct.
Hey, left edge, send it.
Yeah.
So, well, you're not going to be able
Well,
to do
what
that.
if
If it's a smart match director, which
Right
I'm sure
edge,
he
so
What if
Yeah.
it's
is,
going
Right-
right
you're not going to
edge,
be able to follow on the
Yeah.
target. So you can go to Streetlock as a really good user interface for moving targets, and it'll make your life a lot easier. So that's what I use.
See, I've not. Now that's on the Kestrel. You're saying that's
On Streetlock.
Oh, okay.
Streetlock.
See, I actually got.
You can actually do it on the Kestrel as well.
I got pretty good at using the Kestrel.
You did. And you were scared.
No,
not the Kestrel. Say that again.
I'm sorry. You made me get the Kestrel.
Yes.
And it was
and you were scared to buy the Kestrel because I was used to the Kestrel.
Well, no,
I mean the Streetlock.
So I'm learning. I'm still learning, and I just, I got this mastered. This is one thing I can put aside. I say mastered. I know how to use it. I can put it aside. Well, the Kestrel offers so much more. And by the way, I'm finding that out more and more by the day.
Yeah.
I played with my Kestrel a little bit today.
Whoa.
Is that what you're calling it?
Whoa. This is a kid's show. There'll be none of that here.
I did not play with my Kestrel.
Earmuffs,
play with it.
earmuffs, kid. It's mine. I can wash it as much as I want.
You told me to read the manual. It's a great manual. It'll tell me everything I need.
No, I actually said it's the worst manual ever. It's easier to learn from a friend or play around with the Kestrel on your own than to try to read the manual, in my opinion.
Crazy.
Just make sure you take the information and you save it before you upload the new.
That had to hurt.
That sucked. I lost a lot of information. Matt says he's
No, because somebody was talking about giving me a titty twister. That's not happening. You will see some karate chops in the house.
Some real ones.
Don't even.
I'm not an expert by any means, but the carbide bushing type dies are really nice. Oh, they had asked what type of dies we use. Depends what we can find it in.
For me, it's typically going to be
Surgery
Hornady
day,
or Redding. That's what I use.
Unless
who's having the eye surgery?
Bill asked you if you swung it. Did you swing your Kestrel?
Well, so here's the thing I'm still trying to figure out, the turning it. And by the way, I did notice that you're not supposed to cover
calculating
it. All right, so when do I do that? Right at the very beginning of the match?
When you get to the range,
okay,
that's when you would calculate it.
All right, but I don't know how to even go into calculated mode.
Calibrate.
Yeah,
okay, so again, I'm still learning this stuff.
Just
But
go into direction of fire. Anytime you go into direction of fire, there's a menu in there that will allow you to compass calibrate.
Okay.
It's the easiest way to find it. There's a ton of different ways to get there. That's the fastest way. Once you do that, just think of this process. Anytime you change locations, compass calibrate for you to tell it where it is.
Okay.
Then you want to take
the will require the wind direction, right?
Not yet.
Yeah.
You want to tell it the direction first.
Okay.
So you know it knows which direction you're shooting.
So this was very, very important for us in Kentucky because we had full value
I did do it in
winds.
Kentucky because you showed me and I just didn't know how to get back to it.
Correct. Now, most of the stages at VOD, I've never done a wind calibration on it.
Yeah, it swirls.
Well, that I kind of know the range there. But when you're on top of a mountain with no cover or anything else, and you've got wind, especially when you're out west, if you know that's going to be your direction of fire, go ahead and direction of fire on the target, then take your wind direction, and that will assist you.
Then it now can tell you the direction of the
And
wind.
I did play with pull it back so the little fan was going there. That's for your wind.
See, Jeff asked about the easy mode. I can't. That thing doesn't. I just go to the ballistic. It's too damn simple or confusing. I don't know what it is.
Use easy mode. I saw that in there when I was. But I'm so afraid I'm going to erase the data in there. I shit you not. I know he did it.
That was from a download.
Okay. So I don't have to worry about messing.
You could.
I went to a match and I had new gun, new voodoo, my 6.5.
So what was the gun then?
No, wait a minute. No, let me rephrase that. I have new gun and my Ruger in there. Did you load information on my Ruger? Did you download anything on that? Because it's in there in my Kestrel.
I did.
Yeah.
But where did you get the information from?
I had the Ruger. That was my Ruger.
There you go. Watch out!
Whoa!
Yeah, my bad. How'd you get that? Hello, McFly.
Yeah, just to think that's perfect. Kentucky win.
Yeah, when you're in Kentucky, you can use Kentucky windage.
Ooh.
What really goes into your mind? LOL. Bill Sweeney.
Oh, is Bill out there?
Bill
Yeah,
Sweeney's
right there at the
out
bottom.
there.
See him. There he is.
Todd Bailey.
It was-
Logbook is the best thing you can do when you want to get serious about your shoot. Yeah, for sure. Especially center fire. I'm not really into the logbook with the 22 rimfire stuff because you really can't burn out a barrel. But like knowing your cold bore, your first shot, it's great information to know. I know we're having some issues with that.
Who's having the eye surgery? Kerry Emery said something about eye surgery. Is he having it? Or is it Ramsey or something? Right there. Ramsey, I hope.
Ramsey, I guess.
Wow.
Mario's out there.
Guys, in my opinion,
Calibrate.
so Buddy D
Calibrate.
says he has Streetlock Pro. I don't know what all the Kestrel does. So the Streetlock
It's
Pro
nice.
will do 99% of what you need it to. But if you're looking for that, actually, I'm not going to say 99%. I'm going to say it will do 90% of everything you need it to do and more. But if you're just trying to get that little bit of edge where you need a little more specifics on environmentals, the Kestrel is by far going to be closer to that 100% range than what a Streetlock Pro can do. Now, I know you can do the little dongle and everything and get your little wind meter. That actually, Bill Sweeney, I'm going to go ahead and tell on you there, he actually uses that with his Streetlock Pro, but that's still only going to give him wind at his location. I don't know. Does that dongle also tell him the humidity and everything else?
I don't think it does.
It might. It might.
He'll have
But
to
either
answer.
way,
think
what
it
happened
did.
in Kentucky? His battery died. No one had a battery for
Yeah.
it. It didn't work. A Kestrel is pretty simple. All you need is a AA
AA,
battery,
yeah.
and you're good to go.
Just ballistic mode for me. Yeah, I only use ballistic mode. Mr. Rick, is there not enough
Okay.
space down there for a third chair? Yeah, we got a third chair. Just
Yeah, but I'll be, my head will be about right here.
No, look, you can use that chair right there.
That's not a chair. That's an ammo can with a pad on it.
That's not even a pad. That's a lid to an ice chest.
Sing it, Rick.
Okay, so conservative sniper hunter, this is a great question. He says, X-Ring, when you say 5-shot, 1 MOA groups are good enough to get into PRS, do you mean at 50, 75, or 100 yards? Are you talking about rim fire or center fire? If it's center fire, 1 MOA groups at 100 yards is more than sufficient. With a rim fire, to get into PRS rim fire, I think as long as you can hold, 3/4 groups to 1 minute group at 50 yards, you're still good enough. Plenty good enough.
It does take all the
Yes, it does. Yeah.
humidity and everything.
Battery. I don't have an extra one. Extra humidity and temp. Wind. Okay.
Okay, so with that dongle, Bill, if you don't mind putting the name of that thing up there that actually integrates with your phone to give you all of that.
I gave one of those away on this chat.
Yeah, then it was a wind meter, wasn't it?
It was the
Weather
same
flow,
thing.
wind meter.
Same thing. Yeah.
Then
Weather
I don't
flow,
know. I've
something.
never compared those side by side with the real time dongle on that thing or whatever they
Have a
call
good night,
that thing.
Shaggy. It does
Shaggy
require
Rick.
an extra step and one more thing to deal with. Oh yeah, yeah. You got to Bluetooth or link it together.
Sure.
Or something.
So I was responding to Shaggy in yesterday's chat,
Yeah.
and I realized I was like 30 seconds behind. I am right now. What is
You
the
just
scoop?
got to hit live again.
No, I have. Like if I go in there right now and I hit live, I'm 20 seconds behind.
There is lag right now when we're
Mm,
talking.
okay.
They're not going to hear it till right about
Now.
now.
I-
Yeah, so Bill says it does require an extra step and one more thing to deal with. And I hate cell phones to rely on information like that because of the overtemp. This time of year, you can get away with it. But when you go out west, it starts to get really hot. You just lay it down for a little bit, and you need that data right then and there. You can't get it because it goes over temp. If it's, because these things just soak up the sun if you leave them out. And that's the only downside to it that I can see.
Always keep
Oh,
my
my
pack
Kestrel.
of
Yeah.
lithium.
Josh.
Yeah, lithium for sure on those Kestrels. You
Yeah,
can put
he
in a
gave me-
brand
he gave
new
me shit
lithium.
over
I
that.
mean, a brand damn new one.
Mine's reading 100%
You go to
still.
turn it on, in the cold weather, it'll say like 30%.
It was at 40%,
Yeah.
and then it went back to 100%.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Josh
Yeah.
said, well, in all fairness, I think Bill asked me for temp and humidity several times at the match from his Kestrel.
Yeah.
The wacky one, the wacky Kestrel. Those require.
Yeah,
And I always keep a pack of lithium batteries.
I actually do.
Always.
I actually do. What was it? I was going to buy a pack of batteries.
Oh, it's made by Weatherflow, yeah. And
What was
yes,
it for?
Josh, you are correct. For some reason, the Weatherflow will not come up at VOD. See, that's an issue, especially if you're wherever you're at and you need the thing to work and it doesn't. This shirt looks white right here on screen.
It does.
It's like this baby blue color on the
Well, I didn't want to get you guys off topic. Or didn't you have a show going? Or did you get through it all?
We got through most of it. I would say we got through all of it.
We never talked about the homework.
No,
Well, we did.
We we talked about Todd Bailey and
Yeah.
how awesome that is that he's out there.
That
doing
really
it.
is. And again, I was saying that I want to get my nephew into this shooting thing. He's just, he's done it. Did you meet him?
I
You
don't
met
know.
him when we
He
did
shot
the
the
pistol, right?
pistol
The pistol.
match. Yeah.
He really enjoyed it.
Nice.
And, we've done a lot of 22 shooting together already. I say, hey, I'm going to go practice. Oh, come pick me up. He's a good shot.
Yeah, Buddy
See
D, all the
See
time.
him shoot my AR.
We would give
got a video
I
of
would
that.
give Kreideman and Sweeney. Basically, I'll just go to the weather section and you can give them the temp and see
And
if
then
it's gone up.
Yeah. See, what I was doing before is I was going to
Altitude and
him
all
get
that other
his
crap.
information for my tree lock.
Yeah, that's what I think makes the tree lock not as good as it has to go find the closest weather station.
Yes. And how far away is that? Where is it?
So if you give the actual information, you put that in, it's just as nice. if
My
not
understanding
nicer.
is that they'll hit the closest one near you, right? So most of them, do they have?
And you can link it up, I believe.
Yeah, I do want to address this because Tyler Orth does bring up a good point. The Statler pins, the ones that I sell on the site, they do stay in the cards. Even if you wipe them off right away, you'll still see a little bit of residue there. If you're just wanting a perfectly clean white card,
Don't write on it.
No, go with the Visa Vis Wet Erase. That won't leave any marks. I don't mind the cards. I look
That's
at
the way
them
to go.
as over time disposable. So I mean, it will stain them.
That
Plain and
is
simple.
that after shooting with that again as miserably as I did and having those tear offs.
I just
I
like
made
it.
a couple
Ray,
of mistakes.
I don't know if Ray likes it.
I hate those.
Why?
I don't like a blue background.
Okay,
Blue with a black pen doesn't have enough contrast for me.
I got you.
And then the other thing is you guys are using these big Sharpie markers. What if you get to a stage where you've got 6 pieces of dope? You need to
I
put
trust
in
me.
there?
I have
And you're just going
I have
really
a thinner
small.
pen.
Yeah, but then it's harder to see. I don't like them.
Yeah.
Everybody
I don't
has
like
their own method. This is the thing. Adopt the way that you do it, whether you think it's right or not. So
I love
another thing. So this is going to come up at some point. Rick always does his dope from the bottom up.
We
I
just
don't
had
do
that
that. I go from the top down,
Me too.
with the top being the closest and then down being the furthest.
That makes no sense.
Well, it doesn't to you, but that's what I'm saying. Everybody's going to be different, and you need to adopt a way and stick with it, and don't go one off your buddy does. Because if I try to do what Rick does, I'm going to have my dope all backwards and everything else. Get that method down on how you do things every single time. John can tell you, as soon as I get done shooting my stage, what's the first thing I do? As soon as I clear my rifle, I
Immediately.
put my mag in.
Mag, you fill your mag and you do your data for your
Correct,
next stage.
for the next stage.
And I learned from that. I watched them. That's why I think that, let me just say this. That's why I think that me going and watching a match, it would kill me. But watching a match and, there's so many things I pick up, but I have the fortune of being able to watch these guys because I'm shooting with them all the time. And what that was one of the biggest things is, you're the same way. Go over, get your, I walked over. It's like,
You know what?
go away. Watch out.
What?
Watch out.
What?
When I interrupt you guys when you're getting, I did that to you at Kentucky.
Yeah, and I was like, hold on.
Yeah, you did. He was like,
I was like, hold on.
you know better by now. Yeah, go away.
Okay, so this is the thing. As soon as I get done with the stage, good, bad, indifferent, doesn't matter how I shot it. As soon as I clear and I put the safety flag in there, I'm going to go straight over to my staging area. I'm going to start reading the stage description on the next one. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to deal with anybody. This is my minute. This is my time to get my magazines ready because it will happen. not calling him out, but brand new shooter, very first time he'd ever shot a match. What happened to Orson on stage 4?
Where in
At
VOD?
VOD.
I have to think where stage 4
He gets
is.
on there, boom, fires.
Oh, he didn't
boom,
have. Oh,
and the magazine
no.
wasn't loaded.
Oh, I know.
And it's so easy to do, especially with something like a Bergara where you can't see how many rounds are in there because you don't have that visual sight window.
Yeah.
So however many magazines I take, which on a match is usually 3, I'll take 2 10-rounders, 1 15.
I got mine today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That means mine should be coming shortly because I ordered some 12s. But the first thing I do is I top off all magazines. Even if I know it's full, I want to make sure it's full. I'm going to try to put another round in there. Magazines are done. I'm going to read the stage description. I'm going to go ahead and get my yardage. I'm going to go ahead and run my Kestrel dope because I know I'm going to be shooting in the next 20 minutes. It's not going to change that much.
That's why I write it like that. From us having to shoot the different obstacles when we were in Utah,
Yeah.
you know, it'd be the rabbit and all the different things.
Yep.
I was doing it this way because that's how it was.
Oh, I
in
got
real
you.
life.
So that would make sense.
Yes,
That would make sense.
This
what you're
is
doing.
this is how I learned how to
There it is.
shoot PRS.
So this being his first lowest,
yeah,
going
moving
on up
over,
through
putting them
to
where
the
they
higher distance.
go, and then you're working your way.
Right,
Usually
but that
from
makes
near
sense.
to
When you're
far.
just putting, so that's why you do it the way
That's
you do it.
yeah.
I got you. That makes sense.
That's why the rest of you 95%ers that do it the wrong way, hood. I'm just kidding. Hood.
That's not a middle finger either.
Dish. Doesn't this bad somewhere, some country?
I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff bad in other countries.
Yeah, you can't talk with your
There's some
hands.
same bad things going on in this country.
Man, I'll tell you, there is an easier way. My RF
Right.
I know gives me a corrected shooting solution in a second.
Just
Just
to catch up on.
just dial the dope.
What's up?
Depends on the match, though, Todd. A lot of times they're blind stages. You got to range them, and then it'll give you the dope.
Yeah, so that's the whole point of this. Right or wrong, come up with your way and stick with it. Don't deviate from it once you get that and have that checklist, that mental checklist. Do I have my dope? Do I have the card up there? Are my magazines topped off? Is my LRA good? Is my dope set for the very first shot on the next stage?
And I'm doing that now.
Yeah, and once you get that done, then you can relax at that point. Okay.
So she both said-
Yeah, and socialize.
Then you can help people.
Then I can walk over when he just gets done shooting and say, "Hey, what's going on?
Can I borrow your bag?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Can I borrow? Can I borrow? Can I borrow?"
Just grab the damn thing. You wanted to keep grabbing the bipod before I shot, and I shot before you. I'm like, if I give you the bipod, John, then I won't have it, but I will give it to you after I.
Hey, Ray, did the envelope come in? I don't know. I think Rick might have to check the post office tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll have to go check it out.
Well, I'll go check it out.
I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty self-absorbed when I'm at those matches. Just saying.
But I do want to bring up a point. Don't take it the wrong way.
Mhm.
Do you think you had a false sense of confidence because you got a brand new Voodoo and you knew you could hit those long range targets?
I had a false sense of confidence because I spent a ton of time throwing a lot down range.
long
And
and not up close. Where
Yes.
is where I told you where everybody's going to make their points.
yes.
Positional stuff.
But my week, so I'm picking him. So I did. I went there, and I will almost say I just expected better from myself because the short range, now I had my long, and you look at the 2 stages that were long, I did well on those.
Yes.
And I did horrible on the short stages because I hadn't practiced them, and I hadn't even entered my mind because I've got that, right?
You got it.
Yeah, I got
it.
that. Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, wrong. My bad. And that again is a learning experience for me.
Charles,
No,
you're
work it
talking
all.
about that tape real quick.
Work it all.
Just so you know, make sure you do like the little folded part on the
Yes.
top so you can just keep pulling them off. If not, it's going to be a pain in the ass.
Buddy D, I'm going to be brutally honest
And
here.
do like 2 extra. So
And this is a great question. I don't know if I'm the one that should be answering this, but it says, I didn't know if it was proper etiquette to ask about environmentals during match. I haven't been to a competition yet. So I don't think guys are going to get aggravated with you. But if someone's trying to load their mags, get their head in the game and everything
Yes.
else, and somebody's like, hey, what'd you get for the 10? And then, okay, well, I've got it at 72.
Yeah, go
And
away.
then, and then 5 minutes later, somebody else comes up to you, which this happens. And
I do
and
it.
it's,
I did it.
I'm not going to say it's not acceptable. Just know when you're going to ask them this.
But I waited until you were getting it, and beeline over and say, hey,
Yeah.
can I get the information? And then I put it in my
Yeah, if you see him doing this, that's the time.
That's
to go.
the time to go ask him.
Correct.
And I learned that because I got stink guy from this guy, and this guy several times. It's like, oh shit.
Well, after I'm
I
done,
don't know if you're even certified to be.
I
doing
am now
that.
certified to do it. You
No.
got me? It's on.
So if the guy is done with his Kestrel and he sticks it in his
Yeah.
pack and he's gone
Yeah.
and he's doing something else, and
Talking to somebody else.
I don't want to go back to that pack to pull the
That's
Kestrel out.
it.
If it's hanging and it's convenient, it's easy.
Yes.
And I'll help
Did
anybody.
you
out,
notice after a while? I did. I was like, oh, he's got it out. I beeline it over to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have. I think that's why this guy made me get my. He wasn't asking. I got your card. I'm ordering you a Kestrel, and he pretty much ordered me a Kestrel, and I'll go away.
So, how do professional snipers calculate all their dope? Are they standing up, swinging a Kestrel around, then take cover again? LOL.
No,
Or they
so
eyeball
so
it,
Drew,
yeah.
back in the day and still today, a real sniper is going to have a data book, and there's all kinds of cards for air density, altitude, and everything else. The Kestrel is just another tool. The Kestrel is used though, but no, you're going to have that information pretty much close. You might not swing it around exactly or anything, but like I said, it's just another tool to get you close. But if you've got your log, you've got your data book and everything, you're going to know. Now the other thing is contrary to popular belief, most of your snipers are not taking headshots at 1,200 yards. Almost all of it's going to be center mass. I have a lot of friends that are Marine Scout snipers. Almost every single thing is center mass. It's going to be 500-ish yards. It's just the way it is.
Buddy D says, I'm thinking about buying a Kestrel. Buy one, man.
Jeff Cobb says, Ray, when are your
Buy
bags
one with
coming
the
in?
link. Buy the
Yes.
link.
Get the link.
Don't buy the one without link.
Don't do it without it.
Yeah, you can load all your data from your or what you've already acquired right on.
Well, it's
man,
not that. It's
How
later
do
on.
you
Later on down the
mechanically do
road.
it normally. I mean,
What?
like for distances for your data.
I'll show you guys
On
what a
your
data
loads, or does
logbook
it
looks like.
Well, I know it automatically when you tell it what you have for like a CenterX, that it'll give you a rough, correct? But you
Correct.
make corrections
Did you
on
say
that
rough?
as you shoot
Correct.
to your Kestrel.
Correct.
Okay.
You're basically
I'm still
screwing it out.
learning this, man, and I will get because it is a great tool.
So the question about the
You need a rope? Help!
the bad MFs, I am going to have some coming in. They're only going to be in multicam or the Scorpion. I don't know exactly how many's left. They were just delivered their last batch of hardware today, and just to let everyone know, the rimfire pouches are ready. I've got to get those. I've got 50 of them coming this week. They'll probably be on the website next week. I actually put a little retainer tab on it, and it'll hold 4 boxes of CenterX. That's usually what I take is one insert panel.
Mm-hmm.
It's got 200 rounds. It's more than sufficient for everything.
Yeah, remember you gave me the Kestrel pouch for my bad MF? I
Yes.
had one, but I thought that, and I wonder why it didn't fit my.
Hey
I
Ray,
was putting my 22 boxes in there.
Oh, okay.
I shit you not. I really did that. I was like,
I'm going to show you guys
Oops.
what I think is the most important thing for those guys when you're using a book like this. And then Ray can chime in later because he really would know more about this. But this is a section where every time you go to the range, you're shooting in certain temperatures and certain elevations and at certain distances. You have your known, right? So if you don't have a Kestrel, it dies, whatever the case is. This is where your
You imagine-
most important. See, like this page is where, because we had started in. Let's see if I can get that to clear up. I think I bought that Tika in January. So the temperatures I got from 30 degrees up to 90 degrees.
That's
So go
good. If
ahead.
you hold that up in this focus, I'm going to point this out. So guys, this is a sniper data logbook. This is from U.S. Tactical Supply. It's one of my favorite logbooks. I've probably got 10 of these
That's
for
right.
different
That's
rifles. A true sniper or somebody that has a work gun, every single box will be filled out. Okay, everything. So what you're seeing here, now it's focused. You see 30 degrees, 40 degrees, 50 degrees. When you get up here, it's going to start going in 5-degree temperature increments. So it goes from 80 to 85, 85 to 90, 90 to 95 instead of 10. So all of these will be the holds for your rifle all the way out to 1,000 yards. This will never die on you. There's no batteries here. It will always be pretty darn close. because this is your dope card for that serial numbered gun. You can keep all your notes.
And
in
then
here.
you got
Rick started doing a really good job with this. He's getting ready to show you all of his cold bores, so you can know what your tendencies are for that rifle for first round cold bore.
This is with suppressor. That's with suppressor, without suppressor.
And this is invaluable for a
That's your
sniper to
six?
have. And so what I
Is that
want
your
to
6?
6.5.
So what I want to talk about
The
is conservative sniper hunter had a really great question. His question was, how did the snipers in the 80s do this? Okay, 80s, 90s, and even now, when you're keeping all of this, what you're going to do is right here, you should be able to reference back where you were at, the time, the ammunition. But then right here, you're going to put in all your environmentals, your altitude, your
Go to one of mine.
backwards and upside down. Humidity, barometric pressure, mirage. Well, when you start doing your wind calls, all of your wind, you're going to write that down and you'll be able to see what your holds were. This would be a round target. They have a lot of different ones in here, like if you're shooting man-size silhouettes. But this is your Bible for that rifle. It's your reference book. And that's how you make those first round impacts. These would be for square targets. Same type of thing. You guys can see right here, it's got your elevation, your wind call, the call, and then what it actually was, okay? And then what you do is you put the numbers here with the dots.
There should be some pages filled out somewhere.
I haven't been through Rick's book. Rick is saying he's got some of these that are filled out, but
That's where the blue tabbies are, I think.
Okay. Yeah, so like right here, this is a perfect example of how one should be filled out, or pretty much. So he's at VOD. You can see all the stuff in here. You want to do your overcast. You know, what's the direction overhead? Is it hazy? Is it bright? All of this you should be able to refer back to for that shot at that distance with that temperature. The more information you have, the better. Tim Cook, where's the best place to buy a Kestrel? When I actually ordered John's, I bought it straight from Kestrel. No him on around. I knew what I was getting. There's a lot of guys that will buy a Kestrel.
2-day air.
The picture will say link, and they get it, and it doesn't have link on it.
Yeah, that happened to a buddy of mine.
That actually happened to Orson as well. It happened to Sergio as well. It
Such
happened to
bullshit.
a lot of guys. So make sure you're getting the right one.
Yeah, definitely get the link. If not, you're basically buying something that's like old. You're buying like the iPhone 3. You know what I mean? You're outdated. You want something that'll talk to all the other gear you got.
I have not looked.
What do you got in here, buddy? What'd you buy me?
That's the long way of saying snipers are glorified paper pushers. Yeah, you know, in a way, Matt. But the thing is it is grueling. If you've ever done a stalk, and I'm talking about, you know, a 6-hour stalk where you're moving at a snail's pace, trying to get close to a target without getting detected. And I mean, you know, it's 100 degrees out. You're full ghillie suit, vegged up. You have to be very patient, very, very patient. All right, so let's see. I bought a 5700 ballistic with link for $280 on sale and upgraded to Elite for $300. Saving. Okay, I don't.
Well, the thing too, guys,
Wow,
a sniper may be there watching, you know, a week prior to whatever they're doing anyways. They're getting intel information. They are writing a lot of stuff down. You know, a black car, 2 males leaves at a certain time. And that information is basically written down and sent to the next.
What the hell is
What the hell is it?
It came to this.
Oh, that's this. Is that this? No. I don't know what the hell this is. Oh, it is this.
Conservative sniper hunter, what I'm saying is you want all of that information. You want to have all the data that you can. You're not gonna. Well, let's say you're looking at a target, and that target's, you know, you've done your sector sketch and everything else.
Oh.
I mean, it's not like you can't move the entire time. If you know that target is 550 yards, well, if you know that rifle well enough, you're probably going to be pretty darn close on it anyway, or at least you're going to have your cheat sheets with you. But yeah, it's a lot of information.
Look at that.
Oh, it's a loader.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
3D printed loader for your magazine.
nice.
Ready?
I'll lose
Catch.
that. I'll lose that or break that within 30 seconds.
I
Trust
got
me, all the wax on those 22, forget about it.
They're like slimy little
They
worms.
really are. It's crazy.
Crazy.
I had to open that up. See, hopefully,
I have a logbook
fit.
just for clarification.
The other thing I do is I do keep my armband, which the armband has all my dope out to about 400 yards, even for the 22. So whatever happens, let's say my Kestrel doesn't work, I have something that's going to get me pretty darn close.
$390 from my Elite 199 from the sports.
2 is 1, 1 is none.
Thanks for the offer carry.
Trying to catch up.
23.
Mark Hedrick, how about the SOCOM Elites? Any news on them? Yes. I should have them this week or next week. They were finishing up getting lasered. Yes, Bill Sweeney. They will arrange the area in advance. Telephone poles, fences, hills, houses. That's exactly right. You get that book?
Yeah.
So what I was talking about, and this is where I came up with the idea for these guys, these sector sketch cards that I put on the site, is if you're doing a real sector sketch drawing and you're doing
There's one in there.
reconnaissance
Filled out.
on something, you're going to have something like this.
Show the
And you're
fill
like,
out.
what the heck is that? It's a bunch of concentric lines.
It's gonna be a VOD one.
I'm going to find it here
Should be under blue tab.
Little sweetie.
under a blue tab.
Yeah, right here, these tabs.
Yeah, sector sketches there.
Well, no, they'd be with.
Oh, here it is.
I was going to have these guys bring up that.
So this is one right here to give you an idea. Now, this is not typically the way you would do it. Typically, you'll have.
That's for a range, though.
Yeah, he's just got it on a straight range. But like Bill's saying, if you had, a clump of trees or you had a building, you would draw that in, and all of this would correlate to the yardages
Distances.
for that zone.
That's what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, that's right. That's how you
Yep.
end up with the way I draw it up.
Gotcha.
It's a
That'd
paper
be kind of
pusher.
nice to have for, like, so I'm kind of convinced that I want to get myself one of those charts, right?
Yeah,
Or
right
one of
here.
those big whiteboards.
Those things?
Black
Yes.
square by
So
the road.
that, a stage I go up there, instead of imagining it, draw it out. And not that I need to look at it, but just the fact that I say I'm one of those guys, I write it, I touch it, I see it, I feel it, I learn it. But that's why I don't like shopping
Can't hurt.
online.
Can't hurt.
All that stuff. I like,
You don't like, yeah.
I don't have the imagination for it.
Yeah,
Something
so
like that would help me a great deal.
conservative sniper hunter, you
We can
are
try
right. It's not just today's sniper teams have never had it so good. It's long range shooters have never had it so good.
Mhm.
The thing is you need to know how to use one of these. Okay, Kestrels are electronic; they will eventually break. Okay, plain and simple. And that right here is not going to break. About the only thing that's going to happen to that is if you set it on fire because you need to stay warm.
Fire.
Or
Yeah, that's right.
and then it's still useful.
Right in the
Yeah.
range paper.
Um,
But you can distance. It has a lot of information in here.
But honestly, anybody nowadays can go out, spend $1,000 on a Ruger Precision centerfire rifle, buy a Kestrel, or let's say like the one guy here that bought the Sportsman, a couple $100 on that, buy some match ammo. He's in business. He's long range shooting. It's that easy. The game has changed.
It doesn't want to focus, but all these different things, depending on how many mils it is or tenths of mils it is in your reticle, it'll tell you the distance. So if you don't have that rangefinder goes down, but it's a doorway, it's probably going to be 3 foot wide. You have something to range it off of. So that thing's huge. If
I've got one I still carry in my. It's just a small one.
right here,
I've never used it.
like the one up here.
Dude, I knew that was coming. You fell for it too.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me, man! I fell for it. My bad.
What's the
We'll
date?
have it again.
Only get 2 weekends off a month. Date for
You
what?
know what I always say? You watch that, and I'm
That's-
coming at you. Oh,
That's
yeah,
pretty
we give
good.
me shit for 2
Smash the thumbs up button.
I actually had quite a few thumbs up. 70, not enough.
70. That's slacking. That's a B.
Yeah.
It's like a B.
You won't invite me back if you don't get at least 80.
Yeah, we should at least get 86 right now.
Thank you, Mr. X-Ray.
John Kreideman had to drive an hour to get here.
No, it's a 38
Shut up.
minute drive.
I drove forever to get here.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
It's like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I looked at those, but didn't
Rifle
know.
bag ready yet. Finishing up the final touches. So Talking Rock, that rifle bag, I'm really looking forward to it. The zipper is really heavy duty. It's almost too heavy duty. It is a
awesome.
waterproof YKK zipper, and I don't like the chintzy ones that always gets lined up wrong.
What
So
kind of those would
Try to
what kind would those be?
DW.
everybody else's, it seems like.
Yeah.
You know, and so we were looking for a true, I mean, like heavy duty grade, but the problem is you don't have enough strength in your fingers to pull those. So it needs 550 cord or a big pull to be able to pull it
so you
open.
can get a couple fingers in.
And I think it's a little bit too much. We're trying to source another YKK zipper that's waterproof.
Nice.
I want it to be robust, but I want it to be user friendly.
Yeah, if you can't like zing it open pretty quick, it might be some people might not like it. It is nice that it's waterproof though.
Yeah, water resist. It's a water resistant zipper. That's
Ramsey Country.
yeah,
works
it's not
too.
waterproof.
Nothing's ever any type of
No.
proof. Really.
I'll figure it out.
Long range match in
May.
May.
And Carrie looking forward to
That'll be cool.
shooting.
What's up, Mississippi Buckeye? I know you've been out there a while, but
Ramsey, if you met Ramsey, you've met Ramsey Country,
Where did you get
No,
the log
Jay-
book?
no,
right?
What's that?
You Ramsey Country?
he hasn't. You haven't met Ramsey Country.
No.
First.
The log books you can get from Tactical Tailor. They sell them. They're not inexpensive. I would recommend this one highly over any of the bound ones or the 3-ring ones. It's too easy to lose sheets.
Did you
This-
say you
this
got
is
the
made by U.S.
sheets?
Tactical Supply. Guarantee it.
No, it
It's on the
is.
very
I'm
front.
trying to find the.
It's on the very front.
Right here?
Right here, U.S. Tactical Supply.
Oh, that
So
big
the one right
that
there
big
in
old
your
right.
face.
The big one.
Oh no, there's tactical. I thought. Oh, it's on here.
Yeah, so Tactical
Tactical
Tailor
Tailor.
makes a lot of sewn goods, and they make covers.
But this
So
is
that right there is really nice because you can put everything in it together.
There it is. You'd be amazed at how much.
They're a
it's-
very good
VW.
brand. I recommend pretty much anything Tactical Tailor
They're
makes.
pricey, but
But-
they're well worth it.
The Sniper Data logbook like that all
Actually
right
need
in
to
the
buy
right paper.
I need to
So-
buy another one.
So can I ask you? Let
No.
me pose a question.
No,
Yeah, come on.
no. You talked long enough.
Go ahead.
All right,
Okay,
so why not? So I've noticed in a couple of competitions, like an AR-15 when we were doing the Alpha Tods. I think you were with me on that one. I don't know if you were,
Tots.
but instead of having a bolt action, wouldn't that be a lot easier? I know you're not going to get the accuracy at the distance, just because. Now the reason for that is because it's actually the gas is expanding, it's pushing. It's not pushing the projectile down the barrel as much as it is with the bolt action. Is that true?
Moving parts.
You have more.
Why is that much better, the bolt action? I mean, I actually, why is the bolt action better than, say for instance, an AR-15 versus the 6.5 or my 6.5?
Okay, so
bolt action.
tighter lockup, tighter groups typically. There are AR-10s and AR-15s that will shoot lights out and will outshoot some bolt guns. But
Really?
most bolt guns are going to outshoot gas guns
I got it.
because of the moving parts, because of the tolerances for clearance, because you just have a lot more stuff going on. So are
A lot more
there
moving
are
parts.
there half-minute AR-10s? Yes, there are, but they're few and far between compared to
Gotcha.
bolt guns. Rate of fire. You remember we always talk about, okay, so like if you shoot that match that you shot at Todd Resource Management,
Hunt speed.
well, they're shooting man-sized steels.
Yeah,
You're not trying to shoot
Yeah.
at the eyeball in that
right. I
man-sized
got
steel.
you.
So if all I'm trying to do is sling 2 at 500-600 yards,
Yeah,
give me the gas gun.
yeah.
If that's all
Especially
it
if you're
is.
shooting out
Because
of the bow.
he does run a lot of DMR matches, which is a designated marksman match. And those are going to be man-sized targets. Just put 2 on it and go.
How would one build a half-minute of angle AR?
Okay, so
All those are good.
you don't know if you're going to end up with
That's
a half
why
minute
I
of
asked
angle
the
AR.
question,
You can do everything you want to try to do to accurize it, and you just have some guns that just do it lights out. Rick knows I've got a couple of them that do it, and those aren't leaving. When you find one I actually have one that with 69 grainers, this thing will print 1/4-inch groups all day long at 100. Did you do it or did Rick do it? Or Matt? at the
Now
house?
you're calling me somebody else.
Yeah, sorry.
Who the hell am I supposed to be
Yeah,
now?
who are
That's
you
my
supposed to
fault.
be?
I don't know.
No, it was you. You shot the 69 grainers in that one, and it was just like one freaking hole.
No,
You were like, holy crap. I think it was Matt.
it might have been Matt.
So
I don't remember.
I
That's
have
too
a
far.
couple that are really nice.
Just buy a
You
JP.
can't just guarantee, and it is a JP. It actually is a JP, Marcus. But at the same time, I had a special order JP. I waited on it about 4 or 5 months, and it didn't like any ammunition that I shot in it. The best group I could get out of it was about a minute. I was a little disappointed with it. But it was okay, no big deal. It was a great rifle, but I've shot JPs for years. They do a great job in building a super, super accurate rifle.
I'm not up on the Hawkins, but the F3R, if you don't need a lot of MOA in your reticle, like 0, or in the spur mount is very expensive, but obviously a great one. I'm running a spur on my Voodoo. And I'm also running an F3R. So
yeah, Florida bearded. I've built a lot of ARs. I have a lot of ARs, and yeah, I've got some Noveskis as well with the Afghan barrels and all that, and they shoot well, but nothing shoots like any of the JPs that I have. With the exception, I've had some Lancers that shoot lights
Lancers
out.
are good, yeah. Yeah, you had some nice Lancers that shot well. That orange one, the Team Lancer gun, I like that one.
How about reloading for the AR's accuracy?
You can take that same round, put it in a bolt gun. It's usually going to shoot better. I think.
I'm trying to read into the question here. For any of my match AR stuff, I always single stage loaded. I never used my 650s. I know a lot of guys do that, but I was always really particular about my gas guns shooting lights out.
Yeah, Black Beauty shoots freaking awesome.
It's Black Beauty.
That's Ray's carbon fiber.
So
I don't know. I don't even know what that is.
So
what is that thing?
So I always shoot suppressed in the house usually, right?
Yeah.
Today I let the machine guns rock.
Really?
Yeah, no suppressors, no anything. I told my wife, I was like, "Hey, stay in the house a little bit. It's gonna be really, really loud."
That was from the porch too, probably.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had brass everywhere. Nice. And she comes out, and she goes, "What was that?" And I was like, "Nothing." And she goes, "That was loud."
Yeah.
That's funny because she never complains.
I had the trunk monkey with no suppressor, just letting her eat.
That thing was.
I was trying out a new magazine.
You're blowing fire out.
It's not a Surefire. There's some German company, and I have this quad stack.
Oh, you got one of those?
It's got like 60 rounds. Yeah. I was like, bah! I was just letting it eat, son.
That's awesome.
It was so cool.
I don't know if that's smart to do with the whole ammo shortage thing going on right now.
He knows a
I
guy.
know
who
you
knows
got
a guy.
ammo, but
I know a guy that knows a guy. My basement.
Oh yeah, JP has everything. Now, do I do a suppressor in a blackout or 6.5? Depends what you're needing, buddy. Hey Ray, when you assemble.
Okay, so I do not do the upper receiver truing like a lot of guys do. Typically, what I try to do is I try to find a great barrel. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I do and how it works.
Shutouts out there.
Basically, you want shims. You do want to shim your barrel extension into the upper. You want it to be a really tight fit. Like I don't like any wiggle in it whatsoever. If you need to heat one up or cool it, even better. Some guys will also use Loctite in there or something like chemically bonded inside of there. I don't like to do that in case I do need to get it back out.
Well, what part are you talking about right now?
Putting the barrel into the upper receiver.
Oh,
no slop, no play.
Yeah. How about shims?
And so that's what I just mentioned. So I use thousandths shims. I'll shim it out, and from there it's just using good quality. Typically I'll order a barrel that has a matched bolt for it. It's kind of like my builds.
And you like the JP silent capture springs?
I love them. Yeah, that's just me.
Shutout, a good buddy of ours out there, has a question about aftermarket triggers for a Glock.
Okay, so something with a lighter trigger pull. I keep pulling to the left. So I try not to mess with my Glock triggers too much. I know you had a Bob Vogel trigger no, it wasn't a Bob Vogel. It was a
triangle. No, pyramid.
Pyramid.
Yeah, the pyramids I like.
That's probably one of the lightest, smoothest Glock triggers I've ever felt. But that's almost like a $300 trigger, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, it's right over there.
Yeah, the thing feels great.
Yeah, the pyramid trigger. I know they sell them at the Glock store. It's fairly adjustable. It's a good trigger, but I don't know how much you want to spend.
It's
for competition only though. Shutout. So if you're trying to build, actually, I can't say that anymore because I had one on a Glock 43. But the pyramid for the competition style stuff is fairly light. You can tweak with it a little bit, but I don't know what you're gonna do with it. I would assume competition stuff.
Yeah, the Zev triggers. I've played around with a lot of those. A lot of guys, it's either hit or miss on those. Like I said, I try not to mess around too much with my Glock triggers.
Can you post a link for that, Todd Bailey? Just Tactical Tailor. Just search Tactical Tailor.
Arcane, that's a great idea.
What? These books are expensive, Todd.
I'll go with you. I'll video it.
What? What are you doing?
Yeah. Hey,
Can you post a link to that logbook?
So
Let's go to tacticaltailor.com. I don't know if you can post that or not. Yeah, I guess you can.
I can't link anything anymore. They get all butthurt and turn the video off.
Okay.
So U.S. Tactical Supply, and then if you're looking for the book that holds it,
Yeah, but that's where you order it from.
You can-
Tacticaltailor.com.
yeah, you can order it from here. Come on, focus. Oh yeah,
There you go.
that's looking good. Shazam.
Ballistics says, for proof AR-15 barrels, what bolts would you recommend? I typically run the JP bolt. I also run the JP LMOS bolt carrier group. I'm a huge JP
That's
guy.
what I was asking. Reloading like you would, or center fire versus over the counter ammo. Oh, definitely reloading for precision, anyways. That Hornady stuff shot well though. What rifle did we just shoot? Oh, you were shooting the AI. That Hornady
Yeah, the 140, the ELD.
Yeah, the 140.
Yeah, that stuff always shoots lights
shoots
out.
good. For proof, AR-15 barrels. Make sure you get the 416R barrel, not the 416.
Yeah, Mark Hedrick. So back when I was shooting a lot of ARs, back when I was doing 3-gun competition heavily, even 2018 is when I won 3-Gun Nation Nationals. And that was a milestone for me because I was working really hard for that. But all of my rifles I hand loaded for the ammunition. I usually shot 69 or 77. The only time I had 55s was for shooting paper up close in a bay. Anything beyond 100 yards, even though the 55 grainers are good out to 300. If they had a plate rack at 160 yards, I was shooting 69 grainers. At the time I was sponsored by Defender. Defender's still good people. I actually just talked to Chrissy today. I shot with them for a number of years, and that 69 grain Sierra Match King.
That thing's
Don't
awesome.
use this without building up to your own load. But if you use the 69 Sierra Match King, it doesn't matter. Just whatever brass you go with, don't mix your commercial brass with your military brass. All right. If you got Lake City, run Lake City brass, and there's a difference in the years. Do that. Use CFE 223, about 25.1 grains of powder. That is a lights out load. Period. It shoots good in almost everyone's rifle. 1-7, 1-8 twist. You can even shoot a 1-9 twist in it. And I've put some sick groups down with that. Now, if there's a spinner or something heavy, we would step up to the 77 grainers. I would shoot 69s out to 400 to 500. If it was a target beyond 500, which at most of your 3 guns, you're not going to shoot beyond 600, that's when I'd go for the 77 grainers.
There you
So
go.
everything was loaded like I do a center fire rifle.
What's $55, Jeff Cobb? 55. Oh, maybe for that book. Yeah, those books are expensive.
Oh, there was something. Right. Keep going.
This way? Yeah.
Federal
the book.
gold medal match. I've not seen anything surpass it. So Matt Cross, federal gold medal match used to be the gold standard for bolt guns. For gas guns and ARs, that load that I just told you will probably outshoot that federal gold medal match hands down.
What powder? XPR? No.
No. So if you're going to shoot
What is that
77 grainers, I'm going to highly recommend the XPR, the 8208. Be careful on your load. It's going to be 23-ish. Okay. Don't exceed 23.5. When that stuff starts to go high order, it goes very quickly. A lot of guys, this is, like I said, work up to it, guys.
Where's my book?
8208 with a 77 grainer, 23.4 grains. That should be about your max load. That's as close as you're going to be able to duplicate a Mark 262 load. 69 grain Sierra Match King. It's going to be CFE 223, or you can use. And there's some other ones that you could play around with, but that's a good load. But it's a dirty powder, and it's a little bit smoky, but it's a great load and meter as well. Okay. All right.
Shout out 80.
Yeah, what the hell am I doing about me?
Ray, when will you review the 22 long rifle Bergara? When I get some time. I actually have two I want to do. I have the Bergara, the BXR, as well as the B14. I have some scopes coming this week. I've got a Collis as well as a Burris. The Burris is the 3 to 18. The Collis is not for me. That's going to be mini X's, so that doesn't hurt me with Burris or anything. So I'll put something on those and review those, and I still have to give a review on the Barrett MRAD. I've got that in 308 as well as 338 Lapua.
I got no idea. Shout out on the Timony trigger. No doubt about it, Ray. 6.
Buddy D has the Daniel Defense M4 V1. Those do shoot very, very well, no doubt about it. I've seen some very impressive groups out of Daniel Defense. Great rifle. I can't say anything bad about Daniel Defense. I like their rifles.
3 ounces.
That's too light for me. Ray, what model? Kale.
Did you turn yours up, by the way?
No. Not yet.
You planning on it?
I don't know. See.
Oh, so Bill, it's just the Collis, the 5 to 25. It's not the brand new one of the 6. The 6 actually had the 6 to 20, whatever it was. That actually had some issues from what I was told. Some clouding issues up at the top end, which I've seen that before.
I think I'm going to buy myself a new trigger. I think I want to try the flat, and I want to do the 2-stage like the one on my.
So you need me to order you a trigger tech?
I think so.
I'm actually getting ready to start stocking them in the store.
Yeah.
So I'm getting ready to place an order. I'll have quite a few coming in on the website.
Well, I got one.
I love the one.
I got one you can try.
Okay, I love the one on my Ruger.
I mean, I have the rifle.
Maybe it's because I learned on it.
Yeah.
But that's also rounded, correct? It is.
On what?
On the Ruger.
I believe so.
It is.
That one's a Timony, and that one.
I know for a fact it is.
Yeah, I try not to. I went flat face trigger many years ago. It took me a while to go to it, but I don't have rifles that have some of this.
I can actually see the
I went
advantage.
straight all the way.
I can see the advantage of a straight trigger because a lot of times I find myself again pulling, right? Yeah, because I'm doing this. It took me a long time to get my thumb.
Are you doing this though?
All right.
All right. We got we've been on here for an hour.
Marcus Parker, I'm running the 2-stage trigger tech flat face. I've been running it for a while now. I love it. I have that on a lot of my rifles. You have 2 of them. You're running a trigger tech, but it's a single stage. So Matt Pierce is running a 2-stage trigger tech.
Actually, yeah, the 3 of us. What's Ella running? Same?
Ella's running a 2-stage trigger tech.
Yeah, we're all running one except for John Kreiderman.
Yeah, loser.
Good. No,
You're supposed to protect me.
No, I don't protect. I'm guarding myself. He knows I'm shielding right here. Well, you can't get choke on me. Yeah, 3 ounces is just too light for a Glock. It's just rattlesnake.
That's my rattlesnake. No, there was this. You know where this came from? So he's all.
That's a rattlesnake.
He's all. Check this out, my rattlesnake. He's all. And he goes. Wham! Right then, that's what's all. Oh! 3 ounces is dangerous in my opinion. Hell yeah, it's too light.
I told the story about my hunting rifle.
There's video of one of the Glock teams.
Now, I do want to caution you guys, if you get a Trigger Tech's 2-stage, just because I love 2-stage triggers, you're probably going to notice a little bit of wiggle. Mm-hmm. Not forwards and rearwards.
The lighter,
right.
The lighter you make it. The lighter you make it.
The less you make the spring weight on it. Let's say you want to run your trigger at, let's say, 10 ounces. You're going to notice a little slop left and right in it.
That's
just the nature of it.
We'd show you, but YouTube will shut us down.
Thanks,
What's
YouTube.
up, Bald and Curious? Man, I wish you'd change it to Bald the Builder, man. That was freaking awesome. Is it me or John looks like a little fatter version of me? You guys are trying to replace me.
Does my hat make me look fat?
He is
You can't even
nowhere near.
Actually,
Val.
right now, I look like a bald old man. Look at that. Look, if you use the hat because it's the black top, this is what I look like bald. I look like Kojak.
You know, I noticed that.
Let me
the
see if
other
I can
day.
go
was
back
like,
farther.
You can't
Oh,
even
there's
say
me
that.
bald right now.
I-
Puts the lotion on the skin.
I've never seen him drunk.
Tim just ordered a data book.
One of these days we'll.
I seriously,
Eyebrow.
I can't get past that now. I know what I look like bald. That's horrible. All right, let's do this. You know what? The gray will definitely
Stick out.
not
There you go.
match the background.
Shut out like
Get
Hugo
my hair
likes the
cut.
Come
zero
on.
creep one stage
What?
trigger test.
Get my hair cut tomorrow.
I like to be surprised
Which
when it
one?
goes bang.
Both.
Those are nice triggers. I don't like to be surprised when it goes bang. I think that's why I like a 2-stage because I can do the takeout.
Yes.
And if I decide I'm not going to take the shot or I need to whatever, I can just come off of it and I come back to the wall
Is it-
again.
Like a flat face trigger for a, was that Savage Mark 2?
Let me tell you something.
Let me show you something. Oh, that was the
CJ Johnson, I don't know the answer to that. Does anybody know if anyone makes a flat face trigger for the Savage
Yeah.
Mark II?
all the builders back. Does anyone make a? No, I don't know.
No idea.
But there's this cool thing called the World Wide Web. You can probably find something on YouTube. We had a lot of good comments, questions today. We got to wrap this shit up because we could yap forever. But we'll kind of recap. We talked about what will it take to get to the next level or to go to your first match. Are you willing to put in the effort? Is your gear holding you back or is it an excuse? Where do you see yourself in 2, 6, and 12 months? And how are you learning to shoot? YouTube, classes, matches, self-taught,
Knucklehead chats.
Friends.
knucklehead chats. The one comment about not, kind of afraid because they're not going to know anybody. Please get over that real quick. Those people are very friendly and are willing to help.
Really, seriously, really.
Or go to a match we go to. I'd love to see you. Anything else before we get out of here?
I just wanted to say, watch out! That's all I wanted to say. That's all.
All right.
And
End it now, Bobby.
How many of you guys saw the ending?
Oh, yeah.
I did. It was, you went and you got about here with your eyes went that big. I rewound that about 5 times.
So did
Every time. Oh
He
my
kept
God.
playing it, laughing.
Oh my God. It was perfectly whoop, and it was perfect. I honestly, I watched it like 5 times and laughed. My wife came out, what the heck? That was so funny.
Someone caught that grasshopper.
Nice.
Let's see. All right, for now, you guys were wonderful. Appreciate you showing up. Hopefully, you
guys.
learned something.
Thumbs up.
We always do. With all your guys' great comments out there,
My
and
hair gets longer
if
than
you're
ever
not
that.
subscribed,
It is.
please help me out
Do
and
it
hit the
tomorrow.
subscribe button. There's a few new names I haven't seen out there.
Old man hair.
Oh, Shaggy. All right,
What
you
do I
guys
do
take
for
care.
haircut? You do it for
But
the
hey, do you
shave.
want to
Tonight.
give us the final outro?
No
Dude.
outros for that tonight. Hope you guys have a great evening.
All right, take care.
Rubber City for high speed bolt. Yes, that works well. It works well. I have
See you,
broken
Drew.
one though.
Oh, done. Ended stream. Right in the middle of your sentence.
It's not over yet.
Done.
I haven't officially hit the button, so you guys can I'm just gonna try to. All right, we're out of here.
See you guys. Have a good night.
Night.
Doses.
Now we're out of here.